when I got out of college, I was probably in top physical condition. 1975. I was probably weighed about 175, 180 pounds, and slowly put the weight on as a police officer. The diet, you just can't work and eat normally. You have to grab snacks, and I put the weight on. So over the years I went from around 200 to over 330, and probably in 2007, 2008 I was over 330, over 55-inch waist. Still was active, still liked to hike and walk, and but it just wasn't fun anymore. Everything hurt. My asthma was taking its toll. Sleep apnea, blood pressure was creeping up. My resting heart rate was in the high 70s, and so I had to do something. I don't know if the proper term is a metaphor, but the Mount Lafayette is another mountain in the Presidentials that I had a feeling when we hiked it in '83 that was going to be the last time I ever hiked it. And you've hiked, so you know how mystical the mountains can be. Mount Lafayette is a spiritual place for me. It's nothing at all like Mount Washington. It's 5,000 and some feet. I don't think it's 6,000 feet. And so Mount Washington became this metaphor for my weight loss. I mean, that's the peak I wanted to reach. I wanted to lose the weight, and then I wanted to climb Mount Washington. Well, September trip didn't go as planned. We started planning that in March for the September trip, gathering gear and maps and training for it and hiking for it and taking shakedown hikes, and ideally we just wanted to get on the trail and hike from Crawford Notch up to Mitzvah Spring Hut and across the ridge to Mount Washington, but we got as far as Mitzvah Spring Hut, and then the weather turned really bad, and we turned around and came back down. Towards the end of our trip, we went up Mount Lafayette one day and then went up Mount Washington the next day. I felt really good. It was an achievement of a lifetime. Both the weight loss, and it was like a punctuation or exclamation mark to the weight loss. When we were out in September, we heard about this event called Seek the Peak through people we spoke to up at the Mount Washington Observatory when we were up there, and I didn't know the Mount Washington Observatory was nonprofit. I thought it was a government-run facility, and it's not. It's nonprofit. And they raise funds through this hike-a-thon. This will be the 10th one this year. They raise funds to support the Mount Washington Observatory through this hike-a-thon, and you obtain sponsors just like you would in any other hike-a-thon. And in July, I think it's the 23rd, 24th. On that Saturday, I'll start out with a boy from my Boy Scout troop, and we intend to make it to the summit in record time.